Day?
Doing great.
Awesome. All right. Who wants to start by telling us how their holiday was? Anything cool happen?
I'll start. I got myself a new client. Another new client.
All right. How did it happen? Tell us
I was at the grocery store last night, and my favorite cashier was there, and she she's been telling me how she's been thinking about moving, and she was just distraught last night. And so she was actually wasn't a cash. She wasn't being a cashier. She was doing this other thing where she was just standing by some booth or whatever.
Okay.
And so I talked to her for a while. I'm like, well, gosh, Margaret, I can help you with that. I can. So anyway, it worked out perfectly. It was like a God thing, me showing up there last night. So I'm going to see her again today, and I've already looked at a couple of houses in her neighborhood. She wants to, and they're the comps are pretty standard. It's one of those neighborhoods in Woodstock where kind of everything's about the same. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm thrilled about that. But so it looks like I'm going to need that lockbox pretty soon. I'll come in for that.
Come and get it.
And then actually I need to find somebody to help me.
Got your name on it, okay?
Yeah, I need to find somebody to help me order a sign too.
Yeah. We have in the orientation paperwork. I believe there should be some recommendations. There's a good place called buildasign.com, an online place. I've gotten my signs in the past from Pam. What's the name of that company? Image 360. Is that right?
Yes, up off Old Milton Parkway.
I got to tell you, I don't really like them that much, but they're quick.
I haven't had
myself
problems.
I'm not going to work with them again. And every time I end up going to them because I wait to the last second, and they're the quickest place in town.
Yeah, I haven't had any problems as far as liking or disliking. So
yeah, maybe they just they don't do it. I'm like, can I pick up a sign in 10 minutes? And they're like, what are you, nuts?
yeah, they used to be called Signs by Tomorrow, and they were never by tomorrow. And so yeah, they've changed their name.
Yeah.
That's cool. I understand. All right. Well, great. Well, I appreciate that.
Hey, congratulations. That's awesome.
Check out those places. But yeah, I'm thrilled. Otherwise, the holiday was very nice. Not as many family around, but it is what it is.
Beautiful. Well, I had a series of not Skype meetings, Zoom meetings on Thanksgiving, and met with all the people that we've done Thanksgiving with in the past. It's kind of cool. So, all right, let's do one more person sharing, and I have lots I want to share with you today on mindset. Who else had a fun time or got a new client? Anything you want to share? No one.
Well, I had a listing go active Wednesday, and had an open house yesterday where I had quite a few people through, and then we had an offer come in right before the open house started, and we're countering it this morning.
Wow. All right, well, if you've got a Sandy Springs townhome buyer, we're going to have a new listing, probably about 350, 2.5, right near Glen Ridge, all the hospitals, inside the perimeter, all that. Couple days.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Okay, when you guys think of mindset, what do you think of? What comes across your mind?
Like having a positive attitude.
Okay.
What you allow to come into your mind.
I like that. What else?
The lens through which I view everything.
Okay, I like that. Meaning it could be like you look at it with excitement, or you look at it with dread, or you look at it with a positive kind of feeling or a negative feeling, like that?
Yes.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to share? All right, I want to read you guys. This will only take a minute or two, but I've read this book in the past, and this is a big book that Gary's been talking about lately, called The 12-Week Year. Have you guys heard this before? The 12-Week Year. It's by a gentleman named Brian Moran, Moran. Brian Moran. It says, get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. Is there anybody on the call that would not like to get more things done in the next 12 weeks than they would than most people do in 12 months?
Sounds good to me.
I think that's a pretty solid plan. So would you agree that if you are going to take on a new course of action that is likely to get you better results in 12 weeks than others get in 12 months, it's going to require a bit of a different mindset? Is that fair? What kind of mindset do you think you would need to have if you were going to do that type of activity?
You need to be very focused.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay.
You've got to be able to put blinders on and not be distracted by so many other things.
I love that. I love that. So remember, the opposite of what you guys are saying is what the vast majority of people do, including yourself a lot of times. Is that fair to say?
All day long.
Okay. So everything that we say we're going to have to internalize in order to do what we do in 12 in a year, in 12 weeks, that's something that we need to be aware of and try to make adjustments to in our everyday life, even not even necessarily professionally. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to read you guys a couple pages of this, if you don't mind. How is it that some people seem to accomplish so much while the vast majority of people never accomplish what they are capable of? If you could fully tap your potential, what might be different for you? How would your life change if each and every day you performed up to your potential, up to your full potential? What would be different in 6 months, 3 years, and 5 years down the road if each day you did your very best? There's a gentleman named Stephen Pressfield that says, we have 2 lives, the life we live and the life we are capable of living. The number one factor in holding people back from achievement is from achieving what they are truly capable of is not a lack of knowledge, intellect, or information. It's not a new strategy or an idea. It's not a larger network of connected people, and it's not hard work, natural talent, or luck. Of course, all these things help. They all play a factor, but not the factors that make the difference. You've no doubt heard the saying, knowledge is power. I disagree. Knowledge is only powerful if you use it and if you act on it. People spend lifetimes acquiring knowledge, but to what purpose? Knowledge alone benefits no one unless the person acquiring it does something with it. And great ideas are worthless unless they are implemented. The marketplace only rewards those ideas that get implemented. You can be smart and have access to lots of information and great ideas. You can be well connected, work hard, and have lots of talent, but in the end, you have to execute. Execution is the simple greatest market differentiator. Great companies and successful individuals execute better than their competition. The barrier standing between you and the life you're capable of living is a lack of consistent execution. Effective execution will set you free. It is the path to accomplishing the things you desire. Okay. Our experience has shown that most people have the capacity to double or triple their income just by consistently applying what they already know. Despite this, people continue to chase new ideas, thinking the next idea is the one that will magically make it all better. In this book, we will show you how to substantially increase your current results, lower your stress, build your confidence, and feel better about yourself, not by working harder, but by focusing on the activities that matter most, maintaining a sense of urgency to get those things done, and by shedding the low value activity that keeps you stuck. Is anyone interested in learning more?
Absolutely.
So you guys have all hit on a lot of the important things.
Sounds good.
Henry Ford said the following: you cannot build a reputation on what you're going to do. You guys ever heard that line?
That's a good one.
You cannot build a reputation on what you're going to do. Okay.
Yep.
The next thing talks about this idea of what they call annualized thinking. Many of us, including myself, think of their goals in terms of annual goals. And he says we mistakenly believe that there is a lot of time left in the year and we act accordingly. We lack a sense of urgency, not realizing that every week is important, every day is important, every moment is important. Ultimately, effective execution happens daily and weekly. Another flawed premise with the annualized thinking is the notion that sometime later in the year, we will experience a significant improvement in results. I see this all the time. It's as if something magical will happen in late September or October that will result in a substantial increase. If we can't produce a substantial increase this week, why do we think we can do it for the entire year? Okay. The annual execution cycle blinds people to the reality that life is lived in the moment and that ultimately success is created in the moment. It lulls people into believing that they can put things off, critical activity, and still accomplish what they desire, still achieving their goals. Okay. Here's the idea of the 12-week year. Okay. So rather than having one annual goal, you have a series of 12-week goals. So you have a 12-week goal, and then once that cycle is done, you do another 12-week goal, another 12-week goal, etc. Okay. The 12-week year defines what's important for you to do today so that your long-term objectives can be attained. The 12-week year is a structured approach that fundamentally changes the way you think and act. It's important to understand that the results you achieve are a direct byproduct of the actions you take. That's like class dismissed, y'all, right? Your actions in turn are manifestations of your underlying thinking. Ultimately, it is your thinking that drives your results. It is your thinking that creates your experiences in life, okay? The result is a heightened, herein lies the power of the 12-week year. It shifts your mindset, thereby creating opportunities for breakthrough. The result is a heightened sense of urgency and an increased focus on the critical few, those important core activities that drive success and fulfillment, and the daily execution of those items to guarantee the achievement of your long-term objectives. Here's another interesting thought, okay? The year-end push to hit your goals now happens not every 12 months, but all the time. The reason people start to behave differently in November and December is because they know that come December 31st, they will measure their success or failure. As I pointed out earlier, December 31st is an arbitrary date, but since it marks the end of a calendar, it seems like a good time to take stock. There's nothing magical about this date other than the significance we give it. We have clients whose fiscal year ends on June 30th, and they experience a surge in June as the organization strives to close out the year with a strong finish. The date is largely immaterial. What matters is that there is a point in time where the game ends and success or failure is proclaimed. So if at the end of your 12 months, you are consistently behaving in a way that's going to give you the results you desire, then you will measure your success in a shorter amount of time. And of course, you'll learn all the lessons that you learned in previous 12-week periods. And you'll be on, more than likely, you will far exceed your previous annual goals. Does that resonate with anybody?
Yep.
All right, give me a little feedback.
I love it. I think this is great teaching this morning. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, let's spend a moment thinking about what are those core activities. We say, hey, we want to have less focus on the less important stuff and more focus on what he calls the core activities. So what are our core activities?
That would be lead generation.
Okay, what does that actually mean? What does lead generation even mean?
That means we're trying to find more people that want to either buy a house or sell a house.
Okay, and then what do?
And we help them. We try to give them offer them the service of helping them through the process.
Okay, and in between the time that we initially contact them and we get paid, what does that look like? Well,
A lot of work, a lot of contact, a lot of monitoring, a lot of connecting.
monitoring, good. That's the word I was looking for. Follow up, right? So the purpose of lead generation is the following. This is just my opinion, but I think you guys will probably agree with me. The purpose of lead generation is to grow the database and to deepen the relationships with those in the database and to book appointments, right? It's really that simple, is how can I increase my influence, right? Have more people to speak to, and how can I deepen the relationships with those that have already earned the right to be in relationship with, right? And continue to deliver value, of course. Does that make sense? So what else is important? So once we have a bunch of people and we have a consistent habit, as we're learning in 36-12-3, of generating leads 3 hours a day, what are the other important tasks? Everyone still got their turkey hangover? Some of the talkative people are quiet today. What's going on?
It might be still too much tryptophan.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So can I give you some suggestions?
Please.
Okay. Remember what we said is, and I don't know that I've officially said this should be everybody's goal, but I know I've mentioned it to a number of people one-on-one, is when you're generating leads, when you're in the activity of generating leads, you should be, and again, you don't have to do this. This is just my recommendation. Okay. A good day, right? A winning day, in my opinion, is what we said to make 100 grand is 11 daily contacts, adding 2 people to the database. So 2 brand new, fresh people. And then in a perfect world, ideally, at least one of those would be somebody that you could add to your pipeline. Remember what we say about the pipeline. The pipeline is not just somebody that is a neighbor that, you know, it would be interested in like a newsletter or neighborhood nurture or a repeat phone call or something. It's somebody who actually intends to sell or buy within the next year. Okay. So a great day of being a real estate agent is having 11 conversations with somebody if you want to make 100 grand. If you want to make more, just increase it slightly. I can help you with that. If you don't want to make that, you don't even have to do the work I'm suggesting. Okay. No judgment. 11 contacts, adding 2 people to the database, and one of those people should go into your pipeline. That's one person that intends to buy or sell or invest in the next 12 months. Okay. So that would be another super important plan or goal when you set out to be a lead generator for the day. Outside of that, I would say that we should go back to what we know are the 5 core strategies or job responsibilities of a real estate agent. Anyone want to share those with me? Man, tough crowd today. We got Kaya. Kaya's brand new. She probably thinks no one talks. What's going on?
So in Ignite, there's like 4 things that you're supposed to do: lead gen, grow and maintain your database. And honestly, I'm looking for the other 2 because
So they talk about the 10-4, right? The 10-4 is 10 daily contacts, 10 handwritten notes, 10 additions to the database. Is it a day or a week? I think it's a day, isn't it? And then 10 properties viewed per week. Is that correct? Who wants to? I'm gonna pull it up really.
I think it's 10 additions per week. I think you would be hard pressed to say everyone you talk to, you're going to add to your database every day.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Kaya, they're always more talkative than today. I don't know what's going on with them. By the way, this is Kaya Lindsay.
Hey, Kaya.
New to
How are
Keller
you?
Williams.
Hey,
Been in the
everybody.
business a couple of years.
Welcome,
And
Kaya.
she's got some big goals, so y'all better watch out.
Don't watch out. We're gonna communicate. We're gonna get this done together. Okay. We all got big goals.
I love it. All right. So it is 10 contacts added, 10 conversations a day, 10 handwritten notes, and 10 home previews a week. Okay. One other thing that I think is a core or let's go through what KW says are the 5 responsibilities of a real estate agent. Okay, lead generation, which includes what we just discussed. lead follow-up, which is what we were alluding to with Greta a second ago, right? Because you never meet somebody and they sign a contract the same day. There's a lot of courtship in between, right? So all the follow-up that's necessary, right? Making sure that you deliver on all of the promises that you've made, that you surprise and delight. We haven't talked about that in a long time. Surprise and delight your prospects, right? Give them more than they might be getting from somebody else, because you never know who else they're flirting with, right? Because they're probably on somebody's app or Zillow or whatever, or they're in line at the grocery store and just about everyone's a realtor. So the people that you think are your clients are actually your competition's prospects. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my database is under assault, and it's under assault by all of y'all, not intentionally. It's just because you're doing your job. And if I have a relationship with somebody and I have not done a great job of nurturing and furthering and deepening that relationship, quite frankly, I deserve to lose that person. And if you do a great job of delivering value, high fives all around, you earned it. I used to get upset if people would, that I knew would do business with other people. Now I'm like, that's my fault. It doesn't even bother me for a second. I'm like, well, that sucks. And then I move on because I didn't earn it. Somebody else earned it. Make sense? Okay, the next thing we do is we set appointments. Or I should say we go on appointments. We go on appointments. The next thing we do is we negotiate contracts. And the other thing that we do is we practice and role play. So if I looked at your calendars to identify whether you are executing daily and weekly on the core activities that we all know are important, would I know that those are important to you? How would I know it's important to you? I would know by looking at your calendar, right? Because the bold law says our job is not to sell real estate. Our job is to follow our schedule. Everyone heard that? Our job is not to sell real estate. Our job is to follow our schedule. When the schedule says talk to Kai at 8, I talk to Kai at 8. When the schedule says talk to Kathy Ray at 8:15, I talk to Kathy Ray at 8:15. What do you want me to do? I'm just following my schedule. When it says lead generate, I put on my headset and I call people. When it says go home, I go home. This is my boss. Schedule's my boss, right? You guys ever heard, like, if I looked at your credit card statement, I would know exactly what's important to you. I'd know exactly what you value, right? Do you value eating out? Do you value going to the grocery store to get food? Do you value going to the movies? Do you value drinking beer at the bar? Right? I know exactly what you value simply by looking at how you spend your money. Okay. But we also know what people value on how they spend their time. We talked a little bit last week about the difference between spending time and investing time. Make sense? Could you claim that you're investing time? Are you actively seeking a return on your investment for the time you spend? Or is it just kind of happening because you're not intentional about it? I feel like I've come on you guys a little strong today, but what are your thoughts? Does this?
I'm totally unintentional, and I'm working. I mean, it's like in my plan, but my problem is I have books of things and lists of things. I have things written on my mirror in my bathroom that need to get done, and I get stuck on trying to get over a hurdle that I feel like, and it's no one's fault, but I feel like that if I were there and I could ask a question easily, or if I could get a little assistance on something that's very new to me, I
Yep.
would get over these hurdles a lot faster than what I'm getting over them. Because right now I feel like I'm fighting a fire by myself.
Okay, so I got two thoughts on that. First of all, it kind of pains me a little bit to hear that. We've got a group of 61 people that would love to help you, as well as myself, as well as our agent mentors, as well as our leadership team, etc. So please, if it's a business thing, hell, even if it's a personal thing, you got many people that can assist and do it quickly, right? So please don't hesitate to ask for help if you are struggling with something. My other suggestion is do your best to try to oftentimes, and I'm very guilty of this, we set these huge goals and there's not enough like success checks along the way, and so we don't realize the progress we're making. What I mean by that is it, ask yourself, is it possible for me to set a smaller, shorter term goal that if I accomplish this, I know I'll be en route to my larger, more long-term goal, right? Because if my goal is to lose 30 pounds by, March 1st, that's really hard. But what if my goal is to lose 2 pounds this week? You see what I'm saying?
I do, but that's where all the lists and things come in, because it's not, real estate isn't a one track. I'm going to make cold calls. This is my life. I'm going to do cold calling. I'm going to do my database. I want to work with divorce attorneys. I want to do all of these other avenues. And I've tried to reel it in. And then within each of those, there's 10 or 12 things that need to be done. And it's prioritizing that is honestly an issue for me, because I
Right.
get sidetracked.
So this is probably a longer conversation, but I think one of the biggest responses that I would say to that is make a list of all the things that you believe are critical for you to do that day, and then assign a certain time to it on the calendar. Let me just throw out an example, okay? And I don't expect this to cure all the issues, and I'm not suggesting that I think this is a simple topic here by any means, okay? But a decent way to address that would be, or to begin to tackle that, would be, I'm going to lead generate for, let's say, 2 to 3 hours a day, and it's going to happen from, let's say, 9 to 11:30. And then I'm going to take half an hour for myself. And then I'm going to spend an hour basically following up with any loose ends that need to be dealt with. Okay, responding to text, emails, that kind of stuff. Then I'm going to spend another hour looking up a couple of divorce attorneys and booking an appointment to have coffee with one of them. Okay, then, and I'm not saying you have to go on the coffee. I'm just saying let's make a tiny bit of progress. Let's let's go find 3 divorce attorneys that we want to get into relationship, and let's try to book a coffee with one of them. Okay, hour's done. Let's move on to the next thing. Next thing is I need to learn the marketplace a little bit better and understand it today. So I'm going to spend 30 minutes researching property in Alpharetta that cost between $300,000 and $500,000. And nothing is distracting me right now, because that's what my calendar says to do. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to say, oh my gosh, I got some personal stuff I need to handle. Great. Take your personal time, do whatever you need to do. Okay. And then the next thing is, hey, my listing presentation is almost done. I'm not quite there. So I'm going to spend another 45 minutes making that right. Okay. So it's these small time blocks of activities that are, I mean, honestly, it should be lead generation, lead follow-up, script practice and role play, building the presentations if they're not already built, or practicing them if they are, okay, and learning the market.
Those
Right.
are beautiful goals, and I totally am down with that. But it's what is the best way to learn the marketplace? Because I'm really lost in that.
Right.
There's a lot of moving pieces in that portion. The lead follow-up, like right now, I need new business cards. I'm having trouble with the colors, getting that over to the printer to get the right colors. I need Christmas cards. I need
Okay.
them done now. What is the best way? I mean, it's not a
All right.
simple thing.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how direct can I be with you?
You know that I can take it.
Okay, I'll be nice. First of all, you don't need business cards. You hand a business card to somebody and they're like, whatever, this goes in the trash. Say, oh, ran out of business cards. Could I get your information? Okay, business cards not on the priority list today. Okay.
Okay.
Fair?
I'll leave them with the attorney. I've left them at moving place. I mean, I leave them all over town. So,
Right, but what I'm saying is once you hand it off, you're
Right.
out of, you have no control. A
Okay.
better way to maintain that relationship is to get their information, find out what's valuable to them, and then they will call you, or you can follow up with them at a pace that makes sense for you, rather than hope and pray that they reach back out to you.
but
So-
what about when I meet with the divorce attorneys who I want to refer me? They need something with my information, be it an electronic.
Yeah, send
Business.
an electronic business card or send them a, what do you call it? All I'm saying is it's not a priority today.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so off the list for today. Okay, I have business cards. I mean, we all have business cards, but it's not a priority today. Okay, so Thanksgiving cards or Christmas cards, that's a priority. You want to be one of the first, you want to be one of the first people to, you want your card to be one of the first that's received, right? Go to a website called Note Card Cafe, notecardcafe.com. Okay, they've got some real high quality cards there, nice and glossy. Personally, I don't really like a branded card. That's just my opinion. Okay, they've got real estate related ones. They've got holiday related ones. They've got thank you cards. They've got all kinds of stuff on there. They're pretty cheap. You can get like 72 of them for like $16 or $17. Okay, they come with envelopes. You get them fast. I've even got a ton of them here. If you want to come pick some up, you can have them and just order some more and give them to me. Okay, if it's taken too long. All right, that's out of the way. See what I'm doing? Okay, you want to learn the market? What's the first city you want to learn, Greta?
Milton.
Milton. Okay, beautiful. So go into FMLS and you can say, Milton, you're going to say, I'm going to do the following work. For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to look at Milton properties in a specific price range. Okay, probably can't buy anything in Milton for less than 400, right? Okay, so I'm going to look at $400,000 to $500,000 in Milton, and over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to know exactly what you can get in Milton for that price. Okay, 15 minutes is up. We go on FMLS and we change the 400 to 500 and the 500 to 600, and now we look to see what's going on between 5 and 600,000.
Okay.
In a few minutes, totally focused on learning what's going on in Milton between those price ranges. 15 minutes are up. Switch the numbers again. Now I'm 600 to 700. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You find something, maybe you decide one of these properties in each of these price ranges you're going to go look at in person. So print off the FMLS report, and then you take a couple of minutes to book a time where you can go preview all those properties the next day. Before you go there, yes, it's okay to preview. Don't feel guilty about it. You're a professional. You need to learn the market. If they have a problem with it, pick a different listing.
Okay.
Okay.
We use the listing app thing, or do you call,
Oh.
I still don't even understand how that works.
Showing time?
Yeah.
It depends. Showing time is most agents like you to book the appointments by showing time, but
Okay.
there's public remarks, which is like granite countertops and new fenced yard and all that. And there's private remarks below it. Private remarks are what the agents want just the agents to see, which is like usually book you showing time to book the appointment.
Okay.
Or, don't let the cat out or whatever. Call me when you're done, that kind of thing. Okay.
Bill, we can do this with any home and just contact the agent. Okay.
Yes.
And on showing time, you
Especially
can
on the-
specify that it's a, agent preview.
That's right. Victoria, truth is that sometimes
What?
higher end properties, they don't want that. Higher end, I'm talking like million plus. But you $400,000 or $500,000 house, by all means. Look, the listing agent is in charge. So if they're going to balk at it, that's their prerogative. Okay. But that's not the only property that you can go in and learn more about. Go find the next door neighbor and go in that one. See what I'm saying? So basically every task that you believe is an important task for you to handle that day, write them all down. And then pick the half of them that feel the most important to you. If you need help with that, send them to me. I'll be happy to tell you what's most important. Okay. And then each of those tasks needs a allotment of time or it ain't going to happen. Okay. And the beautiful thing about that is you feel like you're winning all day long because you're checking things off the list. Like, well, hell, I know what $500,000 will buy in Milton today. By the end of the hour, you could know the whole market.
So it sounds like just by the example you're giving, Greta, the beginning of our day should be lead gen. That's, we can't move that. Lead gen is very important. And then whatever else is important for our database. And then the rest of the day is learning the market, getting familiar with either the area that we're selling in or wanting to sell in, or etc. Is that correct?
Mostly.
Okay.
So here's the thing is lead generation. The reason why they suggest lead generation in the morning is because if the day gets away from you, can sometimes be harder to, kind of have that dedicated, non-distracted time. Okay. Gary Keller is not going to, slap your wrist for not generating leads in the morning. Okay. There is an incredibly high correlation between the amount of time you spend generating leads and the amount of money you make. We'll just put it that way. Okay. Every once in a while, it's probably beneficial to generate leads towards the end of the day where you catch people. Like, for example, if you've got a teacher in your database, the teacher's never going to answer the phone at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. If you've got a surgeon or a judge or something like that in your database, they're never going to answer the phone at 10 o'clock. Okay. So you might have to call them a little bit later in the afternoon in order to get them. So the goal is to get it done. The best way to get it done is to do it in the morning. Okay. For a new agent or a newer agent, the only things you should be thinking about are, how do I get into a relationship with more people? What do I say when I'm doing that? What do I say on the appointment, meaning script study and practice? And the last thing you need to focus on is contracts and the market. Okay. Contracts and the market. So hey, I don't know much about the FHA exhibit. I wonder if there's any videos on that. Matter of fact, there is. Go to the YouTube page, watch a video. Okay. On the YouTube page, read it. See if you have any questions. Hey, what do you typically put on the upfront mortgage insurance? It's 1.75%. Just ask in the group or contact me. I'll help you. Okay. So once you understand that, you never have to ask the question again. Make sense? So it's small steps. Small steps. Because when we take those small steps, we're winning. If we don't win often enough, we get discouraged. Sometimes, as Gary says, we are. He says it he says we are winning so slowly that we think we're failing. And you could also say it the other way. We're failing so slowly that we think we're winning. Right? All right, I just got the knock. Is everyone any feedback, any thoughts, questions, complaints? Was this helpful today?
I appreciate it. Yeah, very helpful.
Very helpful, Bill.
Okay, very good.
It
was very helpful.
But then I'm coming in to get my lockbox.
Yep,
later
please
this
do.
morning.
So, Mike, I don't know what their policy is now. I think I actually have to write a little letter that basically says, like, I've sold the lockbox to you, or it's now in your possession. And then you have to go to FMLS and get something switched. But just call them and say, hey, I bought a lockbox from somebody. How do I fix it? We'll talk about that later.
They have a form you have to fill out that both parties have to sign, and you don't have to go in.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Do you know where to find that form, Pam?
I might have a copy of it. I'll check.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for that.
I think they sent it to me, or maybe it's on the super site. I don't know.
All right, Greta, go check out, and everyone, go check out Note Card Cafe. You'll be amazed at the real high quality. I mean, for the price at least. Man, I remember going and buying, went to this Dollar Tree to get these crappy looking cards, and this Dollar Tree to get these crappy looking cards because I had no cash 15 years ago. Yeah, these are good. These are real good. Okay. All right.
Bill.
Thanks,
Well,
Bill.
Y'all have a wonderful day. Don't forget that we have Working with Mets today from the 3612-3 class, kwroswelltraining.com, and Bold 100 is Wednesday. So if you want to do some circle prospecting or call a neighborhood or something, go ahead and send me the addresses as quickly as you can, and we'll begin to compile those lists for you. Okay. So either send me the address that you want to be the radius search or a neighborhood. We figured out how to do the neighborhoods. It's not as easy. It takes a little bit more time, but we're willing to do it. Okay.
Awesome.
And that will be all day Wednesday. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thanks. See ya.